I didn't get the right credit on the movie after it was over in the credit rolls. I didn't have my name on there like it should have been.
And it came down to your role for Miss Parker. And I lay it up in this way because I know so much has came out of it. What was the initial offer, if you could share? Like, I've seen John Witherspoon talk about his being like $5,000. What was your offer? I can imagine for that.
As I recall, I think it was like $750 for the day. Of course, they were on a very low budget,
Hmm.
very small budget. So, and it was told, and they had something what they call favorite nations. Favorite nations is when
That's right.
pretty much all the actors or a certain amount of group of actors get paid the same amount of money, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, because that is what is set in the budget. And at that point, that was okay for me. I would have worked for less. A lot of people probably would have worked for less because a lot of opportunity wasn't coming up for a lot of movies for black folks back in the day. And just to find out that Ice Cube was behind it and a lot of the a lot of the actors didn't have the name power that they have nowadays anyway, but just, the power was there. And of course they went on to be to greater, bigger fame because of the film. But the sweet thing about it is the residuals, the money we're getting paid for the residuals, far
Right.
outweighs anything we could have gotten paid for the movie. Who knew? We never knew it would be, but it's always worth it if you feel that you want to do something or take a risk to be in a film, and not get paid straight up right away. That's the beautiful part about the Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA and all of these unions, that they make sure every time the movies or what have
Hmm.
you are
Hmm.
being run that we get paid for it. And just lay in the bed and get that check in the mail is sweet.
Now, you mentioned $750, you recall, was the offer that you got for that role. Just for context, for people that are watching this, in today's time, that's about $1,600 worth of money, like in terms of like today's time, because it happened in 1995 is when that movie came out, or 94 is probably when you guys shot it. And did you have like a vision of like, I need to be a part of this so this can kind of like maybe springboard me to other things? Because I can imagine after that particular role, you've made well over $750 in relationship to that project in that movie. So I think it panned out. But were you thinking about that when you did the movie? Because for some that could be considered, very low.
You know what? Like I said, I just knew the opportunity was there. I was very excited. It really wasn't that much about the money. My agent didn't work out the deal. They just said, "Here's the offer. This is what it is." And
Hmm.
like I said, I would have worked for less. It wasn't really about the money then. And I know some of the actors and people were talking about that. I've heard that they work
Yeah.
for this amount or that amount, that they're obviously worth much more now, but that was what it was back there. But one thing more than the money that I really kind of regret about doing that movie was
Mm-hmm.
I did not have my name in the title at the top of the movie, not the very
Mm-hmm.
top of, you don't have your name in front, but
Mm-hmm.
the credits. I didn't get the right credit on the movie after it was over in the credit rolls. I didn't have my name on there like it should have been signaled out, if you know what I mean. It
Right.
was embedded in, if at the end they had the cast,
Right.
whatever, Kathleen Bradley. But I always know and regret that my agent didn't think about that at the time, or just didn't work that out, and it should have been up there. But so
Mm-hmm.
be it. So
Because
those are
that could
some
have,
things,
yeah.
as
So
an
that could have been
artist
a
to look out for.
negotiation. Yeah, like something like a something you could barter with. Hey, I'll do it for this amount if you include me in the
Yeah,
in the credits, where
sure.
I could get my credit, because that
Yeah,
became, the Miss Parker brand is worldwide.
right. It should
Truly,
have
it's
been
worldwide for
anyway.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that my agent was thinking in those terms then. And everybody was kind of excited. I was too, because I was still on The Price is Right, very well known on the show, and I said this
Right.
is a good opportunity because acting has always been in my blood to do a film or do something. out of the ordinary, except for the modeling or what have you, and not just be typecast as a Barker
Yeah.
Beauty on the show as a model. And this opportunity came around. It was like, wow, this would be great. I could use this for my portfolio.
Yeah.
But another thing about being on The Price is Right, we were discouraged to go out and audition or to do other things in movies and what have you. That was really
Hmm.
frowned upon, and we would. I didn't, I would sneak off sometimes if I had a little break and go do a little audition if I had to do one, or if on a day off, because we worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we were off Thursday and Friday. A lot of times, some auditions fell within that Thursday or Friday, which allowed me to go and audition for a movie or
Hmm.
film or a commercial. And if depending if I got it or not, I would just work around. The days from The Price is Right, I'd call in sick if I had to to do the film or the movie or the
Hmm.
commercial or something. But when that came along, it was just perfect timing. Really, it was.
When do you know to choose something for non-financial reasons, but for opportunity? Is there something I need to be looking for?
Funny you should ask that because I did a film with a very good friend of mine, Melina Gay. She
Hmm.
made her directorial debut called Something About Mother. And they had a pretty decent budget. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs in it, Jane Kennedy is in it, Don Lewis, a couple of other notables. It wasn't a big film; it was like a short. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
and for 45 minutes short, but it came out to be a pretty darn good project. The role I played was pretty good. It was an older woman, and I was sister to Jane and another young lady. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. And the money was pretty decent for she was offering $1,000 a day, which today I'm gonna tell you, if you do some films and things
Yeah.
and work, just co-starring $1,000 a day is not bad. So plus she was my friend, and I wanted to do it and had a little meat to it for me, so I did that. But right now I have looking on casting agents. Now a lot of people out there don't know, if you want to get in the movie industry or business, you have various casting sites. You can go on casting, LA Casting, which, or if you're in Texas or somewhere,
Hmm.
Casting Network, Frontier Casting, Actors Access. You can join all of these. You put your portfolio in, your pictures, your resume, your size card, and everything, and they will choose you for your category, and you don't even have to have an agent. That was really the beauty of being in Friday, that we got the residuals, and it was,
Yeah, because
it's
I
a
could have
different.
in to close out that particular conversation. There's someone that would have gotten the opportunity that you were given with Friday, and would have been like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. It's not enough. And then we might not have been talking about that person still today as much as we're able to talk about you today. So I think about, there's a lesson there that I've seen a lot of people, especially in my generation. It's like, what's the money? What's the money? What's the money? And I'm so much more of a thinker of like, okay, where can this lead to? And I think that was really, dope of you to see that there was value there, and that, hey, maybe I don't need to overlook it, because we're over 30 years, you still here, we still interested to know more about you. And I think that was a great lesson to learn.
This one on One Moment is presented by Hypers Club. Watch the full interview right now at hypersclub.com by becoming a member.